up, everybody? This is Case Study QB, and we are in the pre-show, but for like 2 minutes. Started a little late, but we're gonna get started. Man, what's going on, Izzy, Bendone, Carlito? I'm glad,
What's up?
Carlito. I'm
What's
glad
up?
you could make it because I know you wasn't feeling well, and Bendone's not feeling too well either. So
You
thanks
guys
for
gotta
coming
stop
through.
playing with each
And
other
Bendone.
on Call of Duty. On
Hey
Call
Ah,
of
that's
yo,
what
Duty
I'm
is
saying. Like,
hey
that's
yo.
it. Pause. But
uh
and our guy Big Pun should be coming through soon. But while we have a minute, man, you know what? I wanted to talk about the Will Smith thing, but man, we might not have that much time. But maybe we'll talk about it a little bit just to get everybody's opinions real quick.
we I mean, we might as well just start the show in a minute anyway, and then we could
Might
talk
as
about it
well.
then. Just
Yeah, we'll
bring it
start
into
it
the
then.
main show.
Oh,
Hey, Big Pun is in the
oh,
building. He
I'm
made
in
it.
the building. I made it. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get my camera to work.
Yeah. All right, take your time. We're about to start this at 8 o'clock. We're gonna hit the show, get the show started, and then I want to talk on the Will Smith situation, and then
Ooh.
and then we'll move on. We'll see if that's a no calzone situation. We'll see.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be a calzone.
Okay, you think so? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
gonna be very interesting. I
It's
talked to my
gonna
wife extensively about this, and
Really?
opinions have changed from yesterday to today. Opinions have changed a little bit, but
I
yeah.
have my opinion.
yeah. All right, let's get started. It's 8 o'clock. Yeah. All right. What's going on, everybody? Yeah. Yeah. This is Case Study QB, and we are the Political Junkies back at it again. We got my man Izzy, Mendone, Carlito, and Big Pun is in the building.
What's up,
Much-
y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, Abel, what's going on, my man? Much love to our guy who he is. I'm blanking. I think I need some kind of food or something. Why can't think John? Yo, don't tell John I forgot his name.
You done it now.
He's visiting a dear friend of all of ours who is going through some time, but hopefully if he does make it, we'll see if he makes it in or not. But much love to him and our brothers. But yeah, let's go around the horn real quick, and then we're going to talk about the Will Smith, and then we got a whole bunch of topics that we're going to be talking about political wise. But it's going to be interesting to see if we disagree on the Will Smith Chris Rock situation. So first, let's go around the horn. Izzy, how you doing, my man?
Doing all right, man. Like you said, we have a beloved friend who has sadly, left us today, and just a reminder that we all got to take good care of ourselves. We got to take good care of our families, and be prepared for anything at any time. You know,
100%.
Because he's young.
Way too young to go
Yes,
that.
sir.
soon.
Yes, sir.
Bendone.
Excited to be here, given the circumstances. Surprised that Carlito showed up today, so I appreciate him showing up.
Yes.
Carlito, thanks for coming through, my man. Again, how you feeling?
Yeah. Hey, not the greatest, but I got to show up for the PJs.
Yeah.
Had a COVID scare. Thought I got a false positive, but my wife had a false positive. And I went over there to the urgent care. So that means she didn't have COVID, but she did have a cold, and she gave it to me, and I've been feeling like crap. And then they called the school about hey, your child might have been in close contact with somebody. Keep an eye on it. Man, it's like they're coming for me. It's coming for me, man.
Well, you can't run from the Rona, baby.
Man.
Yeah. I hate that call from school.
The vid. I'm sorry, the vid.
Oh, yeah. Izzy, how you doing, my man?
you went over me already.
Oh, I went to you right. Oh, you know what? The boxes changed up on me. So Big Pun.
What is up, man? And most definitely take care of yourselves. The older you get, the harder it is, but always take care of yourself and peace to the bro.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the Will Smith situation. I'm not gonna play the video. There's plenty of it out there, and I don't want to get
Oh,
copyright.
come on.
Like that. We got the copyright strikes that can happen. But let me know in the chat if you do not know, if you have not watched the video. I'll be curious if you did not see this
Speaking of
video.
the chat, John's in the chat right now.
Oh, John. I gotta find my chat for this thing. What did he say?
You're saying hi, man. He listening.
Oh, cool. Much love, John.
He heard you screw up his name.
Who's that? Who's this John guy? I don't know who this guy is.
Who's this John guy?
But anyway, yeah, I would love to know his thoughts on the Chris Rock, Will Smith. So let's get that going.
Yo, man, don't put that up.
See, okay. We know where he stands on the situation.
I know where I stand. This is crazy.
I'm not going to lead the witness. I want to go last. So let's see who.
Okay.
Go ahead. Whoever wants to talk first. Go ahead, Big Pun. You sound like you want to jump in. Go ahead.
All right.
Bro. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? Chris Rock is, I don't know. To me, it's one of the best comedians of my lifetime. I think it was Charmin the God said he's a comedy god. So the thing is, they hire him to be a guy that comes out and does Chris Rock, and he does it. And by the way, let's just go ahead and start with the idea that this was not a tasteless, disgusting joke on his private life or their marriage or anything like that. It was just a quick, an appearance, sort of like, G.I. Jane, you're like G.I. Jane. That was it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm siding with Rock on this. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is it's pretty much disgraceful on a lot of levels. But I'm gonna say if this man was hired to go ahead and tell jokes and do what he does and be on the razor's edge, he did it, and he did it tastefully, and he didn't do it with malice. And for a guy who's been, how can I say this? Who are guys in petitioning to be considered one of the elite actors in Hollywood, and to have his moment that he rightfully deserved ruined and overshadowed by this. This is why we can't have nice things, right? That's basically it, right? I mean, we feed our own stereotypes sometimes.
Yeah,
that's the sad part. We feed our own stereotypes. For all those people that are ignorant and say, "Well, this is why we don't do that. This is what happens." They got their fuel, they got their energy, and it was sad.
And I feel bad for Questlove as well, who got the award afterwards. That had to go after that. How do you go after that kind of tense situation? And what he said was very emotional.
Dude,
go ahead, Big Pun.
A documentary in its own right that deserved its light and got it taken away. You understand what I'm saying? So think about all these other people. We had the first Latina queer person to win an Academy Award. Also, this is what's going to be remembered. At the end of the day, you're not going to remember any of this. A movie where most of the folks were hard of hearing. You're not going to go ahead and remember that. You're going to remember the smack. Horrible.
So I'm gonna play. Well, first of all, is anybody on the opposite side of this, which is, Will Smith needs to stick up for his woman and et cetera, et cetera? Anybody?
I'm indifferent, but I don't mind him sticking up for her, because in my opinion, to some extent, is that everything here is scripted to the extent of they already know what jokes he's gonna say, right? So no one told him it's out of line, so they set him up to some extent on this.
No, I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
I don't think any of us can say if it's scripted or not, but I know that
they said they screen all those.
Yeah, but I don't think that they said, "Oh, you're gonna tell a joke about Jada? Yeah, she has alopecia. That sounds great. Go with it."
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
Like that.
No. I'm saying no one told him, "Hey, that's a little bit too far."
Okay,
how many? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My argument is this: a guy like Ricky Gervais, who is on the edge of everything, And I've seen him tell jokes and people go, ooh.
Yeah.
All the time.
And
All the
no
time.
one ever got up and smacked him in his face, bro. So my thing is, if Ricky Gervais is up there and he tells a joke on Benedict Cumberbatch, is Benedict Cumberbatch going to get up and smack Ricky Gervais in the face?
Yeah.
I
And
don't even
let's
know who that
talk
is.
about Ricky Gervais he's an actor. He's in the
I know
Office.
him. I don't know.
Original
I
Guys,
don't know who the other guy is.
Oh, Benedict
Doctor
Cumberbatch
Strange,
was
right?
in the category. He was
Doctor
the best
Strange.
actor. Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I know
and
that.
he was also Khan in the new reboot of Star Trek. The guy's an incredible actor. British dude. But what I'm saying is, situation reverse. What's going on here? You know, is Meryl Streep getting up and smacking the crap out of Amy Schumer for telling a bad joke? What is this?
By the way, everybody, real quick, my wife, just before we went on the air, she told me that Will Smith, I guess this is breaking news, has come out with an apology to Chris Rock.
Yeah, John put in our chat. I'll read it real quick. He said, I mean, it's a little long. We don't have to read the whole thing. But what I do want to point out about what he said was that he finally did apologize to Chris Rock, which was well overdue.
Yes.
Because he got up there and did that whole speech and didn't apologize to Chris Rock. But in his latest posting, he does say, I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed by my actions. He said, I'm embarrassed that my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There's no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. And, you know, I get what you're saying, Bedon, about standing up for your partner or whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's BS. You're on international TV.
Yes.
You are, you're one of the highly regarded actors in all of Hollywood.
Yes.
And this is how you want to make a fool of yourself on international TV. If she was being physically assaulted or he had to like do something to protect her, of course.
Yeah.
But that's not. These are words. You go to any comedy club, they're gonna make fun of you all day. You're allowed to just go up and smack the comedian because they make fun of you. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You figure that a 52-year-old man who's been in the business this long and has been under the microscope for other things that are way more invasive would be able to take a Chris Rock joke. You'd think that would happen, but that didn't go down.
Yeah.
And then that whole protect your partner thing. I just heard I forgot who it is. I think it's a comedian. She was in Girls Trip. I forgot her name.
They were all in Girls Trip.
Tiffany Haddish, right?
Tiffany Haddish comes out and says, I don't like the way it went down, but I kind of like the idea that he protected his partner. From what? A joke? And let's just wait for you to get up at a comedy club and have somebody get up and smack you. Yeah. How would that have gone down? Somebody gets up to smack Tiffany Haddish.
Comedy club, though. Let's.
It's the Oscars. The Oscars are full of jokes.
But every host of the Oscars
is the Oscars a comedy club? Yes or no?
Every host of the Oscars is a comedian.
No?
Yes.
Does a comedian go up there and tell jokes, Bedon? Does he do that? Does he make fun of the people in the audience? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so same
yes or no,
type of venue.
Huh? No, yes. I think, but it was just you're ignorant of the actual how it works, right? That's why you're just literally asking.
No, he's being devil's advocate.
He's
being messed up. Y'all don't know first they hear? Listen. No, I get upset. I'm sorry if I'm going off on them, but I took it personally. I get upset at the idea. I like comedy is under fire right now. You know, in this day and age, in the current cancel culture and all that stuff, comedians are under fire. So for somebody of that caliber to come out and attack a comedian for doing his job, what does that open you up to? What is this?
Yeah, this is a lot different. He would have done that if it was Billy Crystal.
Or The Rock.
Or The Rock. Did you see that meme?
That's my opinion. I didn't even see the meme, but I was talking to my wife about that. I never saw that side. I guess there was a meme, so people were thinking about the side of it. Was that you don't get any cool points from me because this whole time Will Smith had a wholesome kind of reputation, and then now he want to be the bad boy, but you don't get that type of status. But hitting Chris Rock, he's like a shorter, much skinnier. If it was The Rock, then I could maybe give you some of that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But at the end of the day, too, there's got to be something going on with Will Smith.
Oh, definitely.
You just don't do that on international TV, period. And the fact that he decided to do that and act the way he did after he sat down and started yelling, I mean, there's something up with that dude. And I hope he doesn't go the way of Kanye, but you know, you never know with if he
There's a
really
lot of
goes this far.
speculation.
You got speculation?
There's a
Okay.
lot of speculation out there. There's a lot of different backstories. This look to go to the other side of this. Let's just say that I'm Will Smith, and I'm like, I can take jokes on my relationship because I heard those before, but you're taking shots at my wife and her appearance and her hair because she has an actual condition behind that, right?
And that's assuming
and maybe
that's
it.
assuming Chris even knew that. There's some,
and I
know,
don't
we
think
don't
he
even
did.
know if
And I
Chris
don't think
knew
he
or
did.
not. Right.
So let's just say that he thinks that he knows that Chris knows that, but he's taking a shot at a condition you have, right? So let's just say she has whatever, not alopecia, freaking rosacea, whatever it is. And then he takes a shot at that. He's like, yo, you could come after everything, but don't come after something she's ailing from, right? And let's just say that that's his stance. Then maybe I get it, but you still don't smack Chris Rock on TV, bro.
So when this happened, I was looking at different takes, and a lot of them were that, you know, that protecting his woman, blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. And I was watching Good Morning Britain, out of all places, and they were talking about it. And this woman, like they had like two main hosts, and then this woman on the side, I guess she jumps in sometimes, and she was the only one that was saying like, okay, well, how we expect this to be a role model? You know, how do we tell our kids? I have a son, he does MMA. We tell him, hey, violence is not the way. You got to control yourself. Somebody tells you something, you know, it's not putting your hands on you, blah blah blah. And then the woman, like another woman that was a main host, like, well, you know, it's different because alopecia. And somebody sending a letter saying like, oh, this is standing up for her and blah blah blah. And then the woman on the side was like, well, I have alopecia. And you don't smacking people around. Nobody going like that. They're like, why would I can't say, oh, yeah, I got passion. You know, so it was like coming from somebody because they were trying to use a letter from a viewer saying that, well, this is a husband protecting his wife. This is a thing that I'm going through. My husband is going through it with me. And I'm glad and I support Will Smith. And this is going to bring a light to the plight of alopecia, whatever. And this other one, like, listen, I got alopecia. Whatever. Okay, there's still no excuse for going around smacking people.
You don't smack people.
All right, we're gonna keep it moving. The last thing I'm gonna say, just John has a point. He said, can we talk about how Will was allowed to smack Chris and yell at him without being removed from the audience? So let me ask that quick question. Does anybody think type 1 if you think he should have been kicked out, type 2 if you don't think he should have been kicked out in the chat? But you guys go ahead, Big Pun. You got an opinion on that?
Well, here's another thing. Ready? Let's talk about this, right? Everybody's coming over to handle Will. Denzel comes over to handle him. Diddy comes over to handle him. His publicists come over to handling. Tyler Perry comes over to handling. Who checked on Rock? Who checked on the victim? Right?
People in the back.
Because that was a blatant assault, unprovoked, on international television. But nobody said, "Hey, Rock, you okay? You all right, player?" No, nobody said that. Again,
allegedly,
if it was somebody else,
wasn't he in the back?
He went on because he's a professional. He went on. He was a little frazzled because he got smacked. Yeah. And then he was like, well, okay, well, the documentary, we're here to give away a documentary. I'm sorry, an Oscar for a documentary. No one checked on Rock. No one cared.
Yeah. The victim.
If it was Tiffany Haddish,
yeah,
there might be a SWAT team here.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a lot of things that I wanted to touch on, but for no time. But I'm gonna hit. I want to cover at least one because you mentioned Kanye.
You're the last person, and then we'll move on to politics.
So
Guys, everybody in the chat is like, "Where's the politics?" But we're going to come to that right after.
All right. So this is the politics. So I on a cultural level, people think about, you know, you got to stand up, whatever, blah blah blah. But this was an international television. He goes and smack another black man on TV. And I was talking to somebody about this, and I'm like, yo, all these races are having a field day now. Even Shay, whatever his name, Shay, he was like, Oscar's too black now. So my question is Will Smith slapping another black man on international television worse for race relations than Kanye embracing Donald Trump?
That's a good no call zone right there. Which one
I'm
is
gonna go with
worse?
no, but I see why you asked the question, and I'm
I see
not
where you're
necessarily
going,
mad at it.
but nah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah, nah, I wouldn't
because I
say
seen
that.
Kanye's like he could be seen as an individual doing this. It's like, and you have people that say like, well, the black vote is not monolithic. They should be able to do whatever. Versus this is like two high-profile black figures engaged in violence, black on black crime.
So I say no because Kanye Trump is directly political. You know,
Mhm.
this is just embarrassing for the black community and it looks
Period.
bad. Period, right? But for a black man to endorse one of the biggest con men slash racists in American in the modern day history, I think
Right.
that's worse, personally.
But I mean, to that point though, like this only fuels the black on black narrative, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
a dumb narrative. It's
Mhm.
completely
Yep.
a non-existent problem.
Yep.
So I get where you're going with it, Carlito. Like
Yeah.
it's
So
worth
let's say
pointing
it
out.
works for like race relations,
Right.
relations. So that's where white people might not, by or at least some of the
They're
races,
weaponizing it.
yeah, they could use it as a. But well, look at these. Like
Again,
why?
exactly. It's bad.
All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna play a video. We're gonna start off with a video, and bear with me because this is a new system we're trying out here, but hopefully it works out. Let's see.
Everybody stay quiet.
In terms of the November election, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said in recent days that she thinks that the Democratic Party is in trouble because of the president. Listen to what she said.
This is really about the collapse in support among young people, among the Democratic base, feeling like they are not, that they worked overtime to get this president elected, and they aren't necessarily being seen.
Is she right?
The president has done an extraordinary job. We've passed the American Rescue Plan. We've passed infrastructure. Here's the biggest thing we ought to highlight. $20 billion Intel is investing in Ohio. You talk about the revitalization of the Midwest. We're delivering. Let's pass the CHIPS Act, get it to the president. Of course, there are other things we ought to do, but this president has met the moment in very difficult circumstances.
Americans might disagree with you. His approval rating is only 40% in the latest Reuters Ipsos poll. Just before we go, I want to ask you.
All right. So even the guy had pushback on there. Let me
Funny.
take away the share so that you guys don't hear the echo. But yeah, what you guys think? What you guys think?
This is your savior. This is your hero right here, Rokana. This is your man.
Yo,
This is the guy you're claiming right now.
This guy is crazy, man. What is he? I don't get this guy. Why is he pandering so hard for Biden? Like, why can't you just say he's doing a bad job?
My thing is, if that was Pelosi, how much would John be dragging her through the mud right now, saying the exact same thing, same thing, and we're gonna give this guy a pass just because it's Rokana? Get the.
I'll tell you this much: I had high hopes for Rokana. You know, as a guy that he usually goes on a lot of independent media. You know, I gotta give him credit. Even going into the fire, and even when he goes on independent media, he still has his same kind of corporate thinking or the way he would say something like that, and he takes the heat. But and we need that from our progressive politicians, from politicians period, to be able to come to the people and tell us how you feel. But as a progressive, as somebody who was the chair for Bernie Sanders' campaign, this is extremely disappointing. The latest rumor is that Bernie's team is trying to promote him to run for president, you know, in 2024, and to try to gather that Bernie machine, see if they want to put out feelers to see if they will be behind Rokana. But he is not looking to be somebody that I would want to support. I'll say that. Go ahead,
like
Big
even
Pun.
when
Izzy, go ahead.
AOC, I'm sorry, real quick. Even when AOC gets prompted with that similar question, even she's more real about it. Even she'll give him credit where credit is due, but she's not like the guy's doing great, he's phenomenal. You know what I mean? So like even I know a lot of people on the quote unquote left, and I put it in quotes because really they're just right idiots. But like people say that AOC is she's canceled, she's bummed, whatever, get rid of her, blah blah blah. But yet she would never give an answer like that about Biden right now. That was just that's surprising.
Well, she has said stuff in the past, like earlier when Biden's favorability was higher. And it was way earlier in his campaign. He's like, yeah, I think he's doing all right. So she said that, but
because
now
he was actually getting some stuff done
exactly.
At least at the time.
But what I'm saying is that she's being present, meaning like she's seeing what's going on right now and she's judging them according to what's going on right now. And Ro Khanna he's just in a fantasy world with that comment. Go ahead, Big Pun.
But question for you, did I see the video wrong? Did I not understand it? But wasn't she focusing on what young people wanted from him? And then the guy comes back at him as an overall approving rating is 40%. And that wasn't the young people's segment. That was everybody's.
But go ahead.
Right? So the argument would be, okay, he's done the best on these things. And I understand he may have fallen short with this section of the crowd or whatever it is, and he should have said that instead of saying, "Oh no, these are all the great things. He's doing a great job," which was like towing the line. You know,
I see what you're saying. He could have at least he could have preferenced it and not even give him full credit. But in actuality, even past the young people, like young people want to see at least at the very least, Biden said $10,000 forgiven, right? That at the very least. And then at the most, though, if you go past the youth demographic, where we're looking for police reform, we're looking for voting reform, and that's the older folks now that we're including, and that's why his approval is so low, and he's not even helping us out in that area. He could do executive orders to at least plug a couple of holes here. I know he can't do a lot of things, but he could at least try, and it doesn't seem like he's doing it.
Yeah, he should have said, he should have admitted to the good stuff and admitted to the bad stuff, and it would have been okay. But not he's doing great overall.
Yeah. So the question is, do you guys think that he is trying to set himself up to get the establishment machine? Because that's an establishment kind of thinking. You're like, I want to have favorability with the Biden people. I have favorability with the progressives, or at least on Bernie's side already. Since his machine is getting behind me, that article's going on about that. Let me see if I can get as much establishment so that I can prepare for either 2024 or beyond.
And by the way, he's on Fox, so he's being viewed by the other side. So visibility is visibility, regardless of what his position is. He's setting himself up.
But exactly, because that's another coalition. Now he has the conservative Republicans are getting used to him and seeing him.
He's hedging his bet.
Yeah, exactly.
My thing is, even if that is the case, it's 2022 right now. We still have 2 years until that election happens. This is where you want to start off. You want to start off right in the center already. Yeah. When Bernie starts off his campaign, or anybody from the left, they start pretty far left. Yeah, they may gravitate towards the center a little bit as the election gets closer. But 2 years away, Ro Khanna's already like, Biden's great. Nah, get out of here. You're losing so many people already.
To the middle, man.
There was an article, maybe Case added it before, but that Ro Khanna was doing basically spending money in Iowa already, like passing bills, helping pass bills to help Iowa, because that's they like to be called the first in the nation when it comes to the primaries, whatever. So he's laying the groundwork.
Yeah, he's laying the groundwork. So and remember, this last thing before we move on, Ro Khanna, the way I was introduced to Ro Khanna was when he became a Justice Democrat, and he was the first incumbent, meaning that he was already in office. That he said did an interview on TYT and said, "Yes, I will be your champion. I will be your Justice Democrat." But then he went on to endorse against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and he endorsed Crowley. But then there was such uprising on Twitter, on social media, that he did a dual endorsement. You guys remember?
I do vaguely remember that. Yeah. How you even start with Crowley is unbelievable. She was already endorsed by Justice Democrats at that point, right?
Yeah. She was a Justice Democrat. So why are you a Justice Democrat going against a Justice Democrat? Like, it makes no sense.
Money talks. Money talks.
Money talks. All right, let me bring up this next video real quick. Boom. All right. Mimic.
The OMB director, Shalanda Young. The criticism of this budget coming from the right and the left. Senator Bernie Sanders says this: at a time when we are already spending on the military more than the next 11 countries, we do not need a massive increase in defense spending. But this budget could increase spending on social programs too. It actually leaves a hole to be filled later for the cost of the social spending package. Now, the OMB director, Shalanda Young, says that is because that package is still being negotiated and they didn't have a cost to put into the budget. So the budget also assumes, get this, Neil, an inflation rate of 4.7% and then 2.3% for years after that. The assumption, it's now, as you know, well more than that. So that could be an issue. But again, Congress is the one that's going to decide on any of the money that is spent. Back to you.
So, guys, why in the world we just left Afghanistan, right? Why in the world do we have a bigger budget than when we left Afghanistan? You would think, okay, we could save some money. What's going on here?
We got to plan for the next country. Who's going to be the next one up that we invade? You know,
Next.
Or giving money to whoever to fight Russia or whatever. Like, I don't.
Yeah, and that's why they, you know, a lot of people are pushing for more action in Russia. Like just more money for the complex.
Yeah. Listen, I always feel like, you know, the death and taxes are always guaranteed, right? But I think the third thing that's always guaranteed is an increased defense budget. Like, it doesn't matter who's the president, it doesn't matter what year it is, the defense budget will always be increasing. And I don't have the set numbers on that, but I can't even remember the last time we decreased a defense budget.
Yeah, somebody show me a chart where it's gone down. Just show me the chart where it's gone down.
Right.
Yeah.
What year did it go down?
Or well, yeah, how long ago it was? Yeah.
Yeah, probably before 9/11 might have been the last time we had a low. I think it was around 550 billion before 9/11, and then after 9/11, it's just been going up.
Yeah, that's already been 21 years.
Let me give a shout out to our chat. I did not do that yet. Much love to PJ Holly in the building. I don't know, is PJ Chris in the building? If we don't see you, Chris,
haven't seen her yet.
Okay, no worries.
She's waiting to pounce. She's waiting.
Eric, much love to Erica, PJ Holly, Vince I am, our PJ John. Much love to you as you get home safe, brother. Daniel, much love to you. Who else? I'm just gonna shout out Mia because I know you're somewhere out there. So much love to you as well. And Abel, I know Abel's out there somewhere as well. All right, so let me share the screen again, and I want to give update to our person PJ Armani in the building. She's not here, but this is just a tweet that she signed the Green New Deal Champions Pledge. So I just want to update everybody that she's doing big things, and I hope that she continues to be successful. And then I just want to play this clip
don't get much sympathy
before we go to Carlito's rundown.
I really would like to label the billionaire tax for what it is. It's legalized theft. I have no doubt, however, that it will be popular. Billionaires don't get much sympathy, do they? After all, they don't need all that money now, do they? What the socialists are doing is simply seizing somebody else's money. If you're really rich, the IRS will add up all your gains from stocks, bonds, houses, even art, and then just take 20%. You don't have to sell the asset, but if you own it and it's gone up in value, the IRS takes a piece of it year after year. Here's what's going on. Until now, the government couldn't get its hands on much of the wealth created in the stock and real estate markets. The billionaires tax changes that. The IRS will just take the wealth. I don't think it's going to happen. It's probably unconstitutional and will be challenged in court forever. But this shows how the Democrats are lining up their strategy for this year's elections. They're not doing well with the border, crime, and above all on inflation, so they return to the old standby. Tax the rich. They're out of ideas that work, so they've returned to the failure of socialism. Makes them feel good, but it wrecks the country. Steve's
all right. I should have said that this is a clip that our guy John would love. Let me stop sharing.
That's a clown, man. A clown.
He said, John put, when I run for office, when I run for office, I'm abolishing the IRS. Hey, I'm for tax the rich. Everything he was saying, I'm like, yes, let's do that. Yes, let's tax.
He's like the government is gonna come out and take money out of their hands. Like, you mean like our paychecks every single other week? Like, what are you what are you complaining about? It's the IRS. It's what they do. Like, yeah, we want to do that to the rich people too. Yes, we would like to do that.
Especially the billionaires. You hear about, we might have the first trillionaire, from Bezos or Elon Musk. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And there was a bill that I think Bedoma has sent us a link. But Bernie was talking about the bill that it had like 10 million or 10 billion? I don't remember, that it was going for whatever the company, Blue Horizon. Is that the one that Bezos has?
Bezos. Yeah.
It's like the richest man. Why does he need that? like free money from the government. This is that's socialism right there.
Exactly.
And a lot more money going towards chip makers like Intel, because why? Because I can't even get a GPU for my PC. Things are so expensive. They're making record profits, and they try to get free money. Get out of here, man. That's socialism right there.
Matter of fact, speaking of socialism, let me play. This is the last video, and then we're gonna go to Carlito's rundown. And this kind of went viral because it got retweeted by some big
grandparents. Are you aware that your children's teachers are brainwashing them with socialist ideals? Help your kids resist the left's sinister agenda with Mike Huckabee's free kids guide to fighting socialism. This important free gift will help kids learn why socialism is bad for America and how they can help fight back. It's part of a free gift bundle that includes a magazine and video lesson. To learn more, just visit kidsfightsocialism.com. That's kidsfightsocialism.com.
Wow.
Yo, that looks like a parody.
I know, right?
It looks like something on South Park.
Yeah, I just came across. I was clipping news clips, and I just happened to come across this commercial.
Yo, and they have the nerve to talk about indoctrination.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what I was gonna say. They look at Russia and they're like, "Oh, propaganda, propaganda." But what exactly is this? It's the same damn thing.
Does Mike have a section that explains Social Security? I'd like him to explain that.
But listen, somebody made a point that I didn't even think about in the tweet. It said, "So they're talking about socialism, but they're giving away this catalog for free."
Right.
Should make the kids pay for it with their
right?
money.
Hey, capitalism. Come on, if they want it, they should just. Earth is truly ghetto.
They go. Daniel with me on the chat. Daniel said, "I thought indoctrinating our kid was socialism." He sees the
graphic. Had a graphic to the Bay of Pigs. It was just hilarious.
Yeah, the fact that they target the kids specifically too, like that is so wrong on so many levels. I mean, I know I'm never trying to give them credit for marketing, but in this case, their marketing game is just, I mean, it's through the roof at that point.
It's right up there with flavored blunt wraps.
Yep. So I lied. One more, only because this has to do with everything that we're talking about right now. Okay.
Rundown is going to be overtime.
Here we go. All right. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is another commercial. One more commercial.
Cooper's an amazing 13-year-old, but he struggles every day. He has a rare disease. His body can't regulate things like blood pressure and temperature. There are days where he doesn't get out of bed. We need hope. We need cures. I've heard Congress is considering legislation that may get in the way. Letting the government set prices for medications will mean fewer new treatments and cures and less hope for Cooper. Congress should not take hope away.
Paid for by pharma.
Wow. So did you guys see the twist?
Paid for by pharma. They tell you right there.
It started off really well. I was like, okay, let's see what she's talking about her kid, and I'm feeling for her. She had my sympathy. And then, do not let government set the prices. Let them charge you $1,000 for every little pill to help your son. You know,
she's like, I got it, so I'm not worried about it. You know, she probably got the money. You know, they seem to have a nice little big house over there. You know, so she's not worried about the cost.
And let's remember, that's a lie. Saying that if the government gets involved, they're not gonna come. They spend what? It's like 80% is on marketing. Like every drug in the last decade has been funded with government money, grants.
That's what I was gonna say. Most of big pharma's R&D budget is government money, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. They spend more on marketing than they do on research and development.
Oh, that's and plus the insurance companies. But yeah, like all the other drugs come either from grants by the government or from universities, research, and then which the government should do to help encourage innovation. But these people cannot claim credit for the innovation when they're not putting the money in, because they will not do it. If they don't know if it's going to make money or not, they're not going to invest in it in the first place. Yep. So they let the government and the universities do the early work to see if something is a viable product, and then they jump in there. So they're a bunch of greedy bastards, pretty much.
That's hilarious. They actually call themselves pharma too. They didn't even hide it.
They're like paid for by pharma.
Paid for by the people who brought you the opioid crisis.
Yeah. And I wonder who Sadie is now. Does she even have a kid with any? I mean, she might just be like the CFO of one of those pharma companies or something.
She probably is.
All right, Carlitos, give you the mic, baby.
Man, this mother's man. All right. All right, first one. Tiny particles of plastic have been detected in human blood for the very first time. They can't be filtered out, by Sophie Miller, unfortunately. Now, this article, and I had already, Izzy sent this article, and I'm like, hold up, I thought we already know about people ingesting whatever. He's like, no, this is in the blood. And I was like, okay, all right, now I'm with you. We doing.
Exactly. I'm glad I finally was able to convert you.
Oh man.
But basically, yeah, they found samples of all different types of plastics, the stuff that we use for like food packaging and drinking bottles, the stuff that we use for like polystyrene, the stuff that's in shopping bags. Those little particles of plastic are all in our blood. They only this what do you call it? This the study that they did only tested 22 people, so granted not a whole lot, but in 80% of those 22 people they found plastic in our blood.
Wow.
And so they're pointing out in the article that plastic reduction is set to double by 2040. And it's funny because I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, I hope I get to live to 2050 and 2075 and all this other crap. Now I'm like, I hope I'm gone by 2040. Like, I hope I don't even make it to 2050 because of how screwed up our country, our world, our bodies are going to be by then.
You know what's funny? I always I remember vividly watching, I don't know if it was a TV show or something, where it was this couple who invented a plastic bag, and the plastic bag was edible. It was edible for fish, not for humans, because we know plastic ends up
and wind up in the ocean.
Yep. And I was like, whatever happened? I'm thinking like, okay, they invented this. Obviously, the government is going to regulate it. They're going to mass produce it. Maybe they'll just straight up buy. That's what I would think I would do if I was president. I'll say, okay, you guys did a great service. We'll make you a billionaire, whatever, or 100 million on there. And we will buy that or license it, whatever, and mandate it throughout the whole country. And hopefully convince the world to do the same exact thing. Give them the formula and let's do this.
Yep.
Now, I didn't hear another people, and this was years. This had to be like maybe 8 years ago or something like that.
There are so many good ideas like that we could do to reduce our plastic usage, to make more biodegradable products, and unless they're like backed by government, like you said, or I mean, they're never going to be adopted by the private industry. So yeah.
So I want to take time to plug channel the now watch channel Izzy watches Climate Town. He did got a episode on YouTube about plastics, and basically from the very beginning, from when plastics were invented and they were seen as a great thing, single-use plastics, they knew that it would never be as profitable to recycle them and make things again from recycled plastics than to just make new plastic and trash it. They knew from
It's been cheap. It's been cheaper to produce new since the beginning than to ever recycle. Yep, and that's why they don't do it.
But they pushed it anyway because they wanted to put the onus of solving the issue on individuals, saying like, you guys need to, reduce and recycle, whatever. So we think that we're solving the big thing. I mean, we should do it, but we're not really solving. What we're doing is taking away, I think they said like 10% of the, extra trash that will be out there.
So yeah, just to drive the point home real quick, like, it's one thing if plastic is in our digestive system, which is already terrible, right? But you could think of it like, well, that's what our digestive system is made for, to get rid of the toxins and all that crap. In your blood, though, this stuff is going through your heart. This stuff is getting clogged in your arteries. We have no idea what kind of effect that's going to have on our bodies. We have no clue. It's never been studied before.
Yo,
you can only imagine.
I just had a thing. I thought, Izzy, I think you did this on purpose, man, because usually you're the doom and gloom guy, and I'm the one to be like, nah, we gotta think positive, something. And I sent you that video from Presidente, and it's called This Is Not America.
This is not America.
And it's very inspiring video. Encourage you guys to look it up, and it was talking about like all of Latin America and all of the struggles and people fighting, things like that. And Izzy was like, this is, I'm with you. This is one of those things that made me think like, yeah, we should fight for this. So you came back at me with this to get me on your side because you was feeling too positive for a second, huh?
Well, somebody's got to fill the role, right? If I'm not going to play my own role, then you got to jump in,
All right.
Next story. With local Oregon Democrats endorsing his challenger, Representative Kurt Schrader starts campaigning against himself. This is by Austin Allman at The Intercept. Schrader's new ads claim that he's the champion of Democratic priorities. Local county parties went out of their way to endorse the challenger. What's up with your boy? I don't know how many with this trivia questions we had on this guy.
Yeah, I was so happy when John sent this to us because I know Big Pun, you might not know, but this guy is on the Case Study QB's enemies list from the beginning. From early, we had this guy pinned,
early target,
and he was a target. So the other people on the list is Obama, which is going to be tough to take him down because he's already out of office. But the fact that he's been an agent of anti-change, he's a change that we can believe in. But then when the basketball players were about to protest against reform, police reform, he stopped that cold. He had a meeting with the president of the union for the NBA, Chris Paul at the time,
right?
And they said, "Oh no, don't protest. We got this." And what happened? Now we're years later from that situation, and what did we get out of it? Cory Booker and Tim Scott, I believe, was supposed to be that bipartisan that's supposed to get something reform done. That's gone, right? So Obama, then the president, the governor of California, his name is man, I can't think of it, but we almost got rid of him when they did the recall, but we didn't get rid of him. But I don't like him mainly because they were very close to passing ranked choice voting in California, and he single-handedly vetoed it, and it would have been a big deal. New York has it at a smaller level. It's growing, but having it in California, ranked choice voting would have been excellent to get that to pass. Newsom, thank you so much.
But the thing is that the recall laws in California are crazy. So
it is.
The laws would have had Larry Elder. So
it would have been bad. But so who else we had? And then Kirk Schrader. I think that's the main people. Of course, honorable mentions are Richie. What's his name? Richie Torres. He's in New York. That's an honorable mention. John, that's John's boy over there. And I can't think. I think there's one more person, but that's all right. So yeah, when I saw this article, I was like, yeah, we got to get this guy out. It's very good to see that even his own constituents, the local Democratic Party, there's 4 of the 6 Democratic county parties in his district endorsed his primary opponent, and that's what you rarely see. Usually, they just support the incumbent, even though he's a conservative. They usually would get the support, and I'm sure Nancy Pelosi is supporting him. Kirk Schrader, because she just supports whoever is on her team. Period. Now, this is my only qualm. All right, I'm going to bring back up my screen. Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Right, and I'm going to bring up the opponent. So this is the person that's primary in him. And let me go straight to the front page. This is her, Jamie. And my issue is, my biggest pet peeve with candidates, where is your priorities page, your plan, or what's the other words for it? They have different issues page. That's the main one I was looking for. The issues page, and on the top you don't see it, right? And then at the very least, I was like about to give up, like, oh man, she doesn't have an issues page. But then all the way at the bottom, it has right here, it says priorities, right? But then I click on priorities, and this is what she has. Like these 3: addressing the climate change crisis, supporting working families in economic recovery, protecting our democracy. Like, okay, where's Medicare for all? Where's some? I want to be able to see that you're actual Democrat. Like, or whatever you want to call yourself. I don't want to be able to read it and then still be like, wait, is this a Republican or is this a Democrat? And you can't really tell by this.
Case, I don't know if you've noticed, but even in ads, especially in websites, they've done their best they can do on both sides to hide what side they're on from the get-go. And it's good and bad, right? It forces you to dive in and see what's going on or whatever, and make a decision on whatever you see, whatever they post, whatever their priorities are, whatever their positions are, before associating red or blue. But it doesn't, you have to have that in order to go ahead and deep dive anyway, right? You have to say, okay, you're on this side. Let me see if you align with. I'm on your side too. Let me read more.
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, let me see what's going on, and then you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
In Jersey, they had guys running for senator. You wouldn't know what it was. I believe in family. I believe in oxygen. Yeah, me too. I mean, what does that mean?
Exactly.
So they make it. They hide it, and I think it's horrible.
And that's why, like, I need to see that Medicare for. Whenever I go to a candidate's page, that's the first thing I'm looking for, because it's such a litmus test to a certain degree.
Yeah.
It's becoming a little bit lesser and lesser that people are pandering to Medicare for all. But at the very least, you got to have that to show me that, okay, you're at least trending in the right category, and then I'll look and see what other priorities you have. But it's almost like a slap in the face when, first of all, you put your priorities all the way in the footer of the website, and then you're asking me to donate to you. You're asking me to volunteer for you, and you can't, at the very least, let me know what you're going to do for me so I can hold you accountable when you get elected.
But isn't that horrible? Just on basic design, but isn't that horrible on the idea that I'm a candidate for office and my priorities are at the very bottom of this page on this link where you can't even see? It's like, I should tell you everything from the get on the top. This is what I do. This is what I want to do.
Who's this website for then?
Exactly. I think that.
I mean,
I think that
a placeholder. Maybe they don't care. You just, I need to have a website. Let me just put it there. But in reality, I know who my constituents are, and that is the people that don't, like the donors, the big donors, corporations.
Let me tell you why she's being endorsed, and a lot of the local Democrats are supporting her. She probably has the support of consultants. The Democratic consultants, and those are the worst people. Those polished people that want to polish a candidate and form and clay like a clay and just shape you into this, total nothing, like a plain person and not a real person. That's I'm sure those are the people she's hired. 100%. And when you get those people on your team, you have a lot more clout amongst the establishment. Right. And I'm pretty sure that's how she got to the position that she's in right now.
And it works horribly for either side of the coin. If you're older, you're not looking all the way to the bottom, right? If you're younger, if it's not in your face, and you're not gonna pay attention anyway. So it's a presence to legitimize the idea that you are a candidate. But other than that, everything's there. You just got to find it. It's like the fine print on a contract. This is horrible.
Yeah, but then now, and I'm gonna say this last point, and then Carlito will move on to the next article. We talked about how Gary Newsom joined that the recall. It was between him and Larry Elder. Yeah. So now in this situation, we have this horrible, guys that's on my enemies list, but then on the other side is her and somebody that we know is a polished candidate that's not going to be fighting for us. Cori Bush was at least on the steps of the Capitol trying to get people the mandate to be extended for renters not to be kicked out of their house. She's not going to be doing this. She's not going to be doing that stuff like that. Nope. Go ahead, Carlito.
So something I wanted to say, reading this article, I know about, him blocking Medicare from negotiating drug prices and getting all this money from pharmaceutical companies. But I didn't know this. It said that he likened Trump's second impeachment to a lynching before eventually voting for it anyway. But it's like,
so you voted for a lynching?
He was saying the second impeachment of Donald Trump is like a lynching.
Wow.
This is a Democrat saying this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that's mentioned.
Wow. So the next story. Eric Adams considering using drones to fight New York City crime. So today, by John Levine and Rich Calder at the New York Post. I mean, we talk about all the money that New York City has, more than some governments, more than Ukraine.
Yeah. More than Ukraine, yeah.
And now they want to use these drones to put it on high crime areas.
I wonder what that's going to be.
I mean, what you think? The New York City people, what you think of that?
Oh, it's going to be in the Upper East Side, right? No,
No.
Yo, you're such
What's
a
his name?
comedian.
No,
Such a comedian, Pun. Now I can see why you don't want comedians to be canceled. You're
parts
one
of
of them.
Brooklyn. Parts of
You
Brooklyn.
fit,
Yes.
you fit right in.
I'm saying, yeah, of course.
Definitely South Bronx. Well, I guess even South
Mm,
Bronx is kind of
You
questionable
know
at
what
this
it's going
point.
to
But
be. You know what it's going to be.
yeah,
It's going to be a microcosm of whatever the government does now to police this planet. And I told everybody, listen, this guy is a cop at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he's a cop.
mhm.
Let's just be serious. And I said,
Yep.
I said, let's not get all excited right away, and let's see what happens. Strike one. Here goes with the street crimes are back. Except they're going to be wearing uniforms where you can identify them now, and they're all going to be wearing body cams. Okay. Strike two. Kyrie Irving's back in the building. Everybody, let's clap it up. Everybody else that I fired,
Sports are back.
everybody else that I fired, nah, they can't get their job back.
Mhm.
And now this, really, we're going down the slippery slope, boys. I'm just saying.
and it's
I'm
only gonna-
surprised we don't see the robot dogs, trotting through the streets
Oh my
already.
God.
They're getting those.
Give it a few years.
I saw that.
That's coming. That's coming, right?
That's the one they're
Yeah,
gonna
the
send
Boston
to the
Robotics,
houses.
the dogs, they're gonna get that.
That's for the no knock warrants. That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna be outside the house and be like, sick 'em.
Oh my God. Oh.
You guys
I
ever
think
go
the
to the
latest thing is
supermarket?
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You ever go to the supermarket and you see those things those robots that just go through the aisles and check to make sure that everything is okay? That's what's going to be roaming our
Yeah,
streets.
yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw that. I don't know if it was Chicago. It looked like an oversized egg head, like a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like more for parking meters. I think I feel like I saw that already. We're getting there. It's getting scary out here, man. It's getting scary out here. All right, Carlito.
This quote: using taxpayer dollars to buy the surveillance drones, while also asking New Yorkers to accept defunded sanitation, education,
See,
services departments is reprehensible.
You're funding the wrong department. Defund the police.
Yeah. So imagine if we cut
Teachers are leaving.
cut their budget in half, right? They get $1 billion. And also, Eric Adams brought back the known the plainclothes units.
Yes, I'm saying that. Yeah,
That's what
the
Paul's
street
saying,
crimes.
yeah.
That's exactly what
Oh,
I'm
I'm
saying.
sorry.
Yeah.
You said that. I apologize.
Quarterback.
You said that already. But
definitely.
we talked about that before when George Floyd was going on and de Blasio, he was trying to decrease the budget or shift the budget, in different areas. And one of the things was he got rid of the not no knock warrants, but the plainclothes unit
guys,
because they're very problematic. They're approaching people and not telling them they're police. So what you expect people to do? Of course, they don't fight back.
And if one of the things they say that they want cops for is to prevent crime, it's a deterrent. Why are you going to have cops that look like everybody else? It's not going to deter anything.
Exactly.
Right.
So they're saying that they're going to use them to find, illegal guns and stuff, but still.
But you don't need that. Then just send detectives to the undercover, whatever.
Detectives have gun buyback programs. To
them,
the name of this drone company, Blue White Robotics. When we talk about marketing, Blue White.
Interesting.
Yeah, Boston.
Just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say real quick that it's funny that he's taking money away from the sanitation department, as if New York City has a reputation of being the cleanest city out there. You know what I mean? Like we're already a freaking mess. You're gonna take money away from the sanitation department too?
Wow.
And that's what I just saw. The fire department, FDNY, just got the dogs.
Oh wow!
It's on a rescue. It's a rescue operation.
You know what? No, I could see that. Listen, the FDNY doesn't do anything bad to anybody, and if they could use those dogs to go into buildings that are burning down.
I don't know now. I don't know about that.
The Predators didn't start out that way.
Listen, I don't know about the FDNY specifically, but I read a story about a different city where they caught the fire department talking about the black neighborhoods, like saying like, yo, they just burned down, or saying a whole bunch of racist things, that it was like, will you trust those people to really come save you in a fire when they're saying like these people are nothing but trash pretty much and stuff like that in the fire department?
I mean, I could see that maybe in other cities. The thing with New York is that it's so integrated, and there's firehouses everywhere. I don't even know how they would make that kind of distinction and be like, oh, we're not going to serve that neighborhood.
The fire uptown or downtown?
I mean, but they're all in the same neighborhood. We have fire departments. We have firehouses everywhere in the city. So I don't
It's
know.
like I've heard of people that they take Uber instead of calling 911 because the ambulance takes so long to get to them.
Well, that's a whole different story. That's true. That's definitely true. But most of our ambulances here aren't even the fire department ones. They're third parties or whatever. My point is, if you're using those automated dogs or whatever, those things can go into burning buildings, so that you don't have to risk a life to do that, and try and find what's going on, maybe some survivors or whatever, and then they know where to target, or maybe even just to find the fire, so they know where to start the work. Like, I'm okay with that.
I'm all right.
The
with
things,
Yeah,
Case,
that's
you're
a good
looking like the dogs have guns attached to them. Like they're just
Not yet.
Not yet.
not yet. Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But if the FDNY goes, hey fellas, you could use these. This thing goes through a burning building. It could go through a door, and if you use this attachment,
this gun.
Yeah.
So
They're
Holly
gonna attach
in the
taser.
chat saying he's showing who he is. Talk about Adams.
Yeah.
All
All right.
He's a trash.
2 minutes left. Let's go to the last
Story.
article.
Black Tesla employees describe a culture of racism. I was at my breaking point by Margot Roosevelt and Russ Mitchell at the LA Times. Now we've talked about this before, I think, and Tesla's been crapping California for a long time, but they have people basically calling the N-words, giving black people the worst jobs, not putting them forward when the CEO is coming through because they don't want to see them there. They wanted to present other people instead of them. I mean, there are lawsuits happening right now because of it. So this is crazy. I mean, I'm a little surprised the story is still going, like it happened again, but I guess it's still going on and they haven't stopped.
Yeah, John, he's brought this up before, and I never really, I guess I didn't give it enough attention, and I didn't do enough research. And I'm reading through this article, and I'm like, this can't even be true. I mean, this blatant of racism going on all throughout the California location. Like, how could this even be true? But multiple successful lawsuits have been filed. You had a 4,000 black person class action lawsuit brought against Tesla. That was one. You had one guy, Oscar Diaz, who I think he got $137 million in a settlement with Tesla because of a lawsuit that he brought against them. And you're not getting $137 million out of any company unless you have a real case. So the fact that this much is really going on, and you have all these people coming forward, I mean, listen, we all know Elon's a crazy person. He's probably a white Kanye. You know what I mean? Like, that dude is off the rocker.
They're friends.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But
Mhm.
it's not too surprising to hear about. But I mean, it's kind of sickening that he's not on the forefront, even if he doesn't want to admit fault. Just saying, at least, like, listen, we're gonna do what we can to really, like, shore up our anti-racism corporate culture. I don't know, something. Say something. But he's the type where he won't even. He's probably all for it. Who knows?
So this guy said that when they were talking about how many investigations have been there, he was saying something like, but look how many didn't find anything wrong. Well, the point, the fact that you're having so many investigations in the first place shows there's something wrong. Just because they're able to hide it, whatever, doesn't mean that nothing's going on. But he was bragging, I don't know, bragging, but excuses like, oh yeah, well, they had, I don't know, they had 100 investigations, but only 20 found something wrong. So we're doing good.
And if you look at every Tesla response, like every corporate official response, they're super combative. They don't. I don't expect them to admit fault, but they're not admitting anything, and they're like, nope, this is all untrue. This has never happened. This and that. Just completely diminishing anybody who comes forward. That what they're saying is not even true at all. Like,
so many red flags there.
So Izzy,
exactly.
Can I get your Tesla pre-order?
Yeah, so that's that, and I don't know if we have much time, but I would like to get into that because I did pre-order one. I'm not gonna lie, I'll say that to the group. Like, I pre-ordered a Tesla, and this is before I learned all this, of course.
Right.
And,
Before you learned all this.
No, it was legit. Like, I would admit it if it wasn't.
I'm messing with you.
The quotes, I like that. But my thing, so this is like a whole other philosophical point, right? Like, I boycott Amazon because Amazon is a trash company. They don't do anything good for the planet. They do zero good. They do nothing but bad, and they provide zero good. Tesla, on the other hand, you can make a case that even though Elon is who he is, who is doing better for renewable energy transportation than Tesla? So now you kind of have this dilemma. You know what I mean?
So therefore, legitimized and proven racism.
I'm not saying no, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there is an actual dilemma there at least.
Yeah.
Other companies that I boycott, there is no dilemma. It's just really easy to boycott them because they don't provide any good for this planet. What do you do when Tesla is the only company providing renewable energy transportation? What do you do in that case?
What do you do when you have an iPhone? You know, there's Androids and they get they're produced through slave labor.
But at least you have other options in that case. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be green for this planet, how do you do that? If Tesla is also the company that you basically have to support. I know there are other electric car makers out there, but they're trash. They're just not ready for mass market. Those companies probably have similar issues.
The
You know what I
Nissan
mean?
Leaf is not good.
That thing gets like 60 freaking miles or some ridiculous number. Like, who's gonna drive that?
The true answer to this is that you have to not buy the product or demand more of Elon Musk. I mean, this is a person who is, you know, I mean, you have to. If he understands all these high concepts and he's leading the way in green energy, then he has to understand that some of these practices ain't really cool, bro. So either you do right, or we're just not going to buy the stuff. And then everybody's not going to do that. That's the problem. No one's going to be like, well, he's the leader. I'm going to buy the second best product. Okay. You know, a lot of people, God bless you, a lot of people don't have your sense of consciousness. They're not really worried about that. They're okay to outweigh the good, the bad for the good.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a tough choice sometimes because all I care about is the environment. Not all I care about. That's my biggest issue is the environment. So
Right.
you know when when I'm trying to do right by the environment, but this is my option. Damn, what the hell do you do? Drive a gas powered car and destroy the environment? Like, what's your option at that point?
And by the way,
if
they've been brought to justice and he actually paid the settlement, then everybody considers that already done. It's been taken care of. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some are, not all, but one.
I'm just saying, just playing devil's
at the bottom of the article saying that one of the black employee was saying that he told employees who were targets of racism to get a thick skin.
Okay, that's not
wow. So you think maybe the shareholders can?
It's a comedy show. It's a comedy club. That's
do some shareholder activism to try to get something done. Maybe that's the only thing I could think of.
If they care, but then you have people who say they care, but they're like, I got to get in on that stock. It's skyrocketing.
That's true.
Once again,
but you gotta buy the stock to be able to affect change, right? That's the excuse you can say.
Hashtag capitalism.
John in the chat saying, "Show the clips where John told you about it." LOL.
Listen, I said John told us. I said John told us.
So I want to show this last little clip that I had.
Let's go.
Before we head out, and I promise we're not gonna spend too much time. It's a quick picture. Look, it says a food project proposes a matrix style vertical chicken farm. Look at this.
Oh,
Can you even make out the chicken? Can you see that this is the
I see You see it, and it's horrible.
This
is
Isn't this the same thing they use for the goose liver? Yeah, exactly. See?
What's it called?
The foie gras.
That's what they did.
Wow. So they don't even have to
make livers big. Yeah.
This is like the total opposite of free range chicken. Like they just have them stuck in this, not even in a cage. They just put them in this little whatever this is.
Is that what they call farm raised?
Wow. The freaking vegan. I'm mad at you, Case.
It's a vertical chicken farm.
I didn't consent to this.
That's crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to leave on a good note. No, I'm just kidding.
It's horrible.
The thing that reminded me of was like Wall-E. Can't remember. Was that Wall-E? The future where the humans are gonna be like that, just in a chair and just feed the food, whatever.
The Matrix.
Oh my God.
Star Trek. This is
crazy.
The John wants to know if we're gonna talk Clarence Thomas and OT.
Go in, Carlito. He's your favorite.
Go. Let's get a quick talk on that.
Man, quick talk. So the quick talk about that is that there's texts have been found from his texting Mark Meadows. She was stabbed in the White House talking about, hey man, we gotta overturn this election, pretty much. And out of all the justices, Clarence Thomas was the only one to vote to not release the documents. The only one. Even Amy Dummy Barrett, whatever her name is, voted for it.
Wow. Okay.
So this guy, and like maybe a week or two ago, he wrote an article about the Supreme Court being in danger of being politicized too much. When his wife basically runs a whole bunch of political organizations. She works with people that have put briefs in front of the Supreme Court,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking about politicizing. You sleeping with the enemy, buddy.
Actually,
Damn, that's like legit. Like,
but the situation is, so the January 6th panel supposedly is gonna most likely gonna interview her because she admitted that she was out there during.
And was she gonna
January
plead the
6th.
fifth the whole time?
Okay, and you know, and I love the way she says, "Well, it got too cold, so I went home."
Yeah,
That's what you did during the revolution. Revolution, you went home because it got too cold. Really?
Well, a while back, Big Pun, we talked about this actually. The Tom Hartman, I got the idea from Tom Hartman, who said that Clarence Thomas and his wife, there's been a conflict of interest, and basically they will funnel money, give it to the wife, and then the judge, Clarence, would make judgments on different cases that the wife would receive money on, right? So we could have literally, if the Democrats were strong, we could have been impeached. You know, I don't know the last time we impeached a Supreme Court justice, but we could at least fight and at least try, and maybe he force him to be put in a position where he would himself retire or like step down. You never know. Look what happened to Nixon. You know, Nixon, it got far enough that he was like, okay, I don't want to be the first one to get impeached. Let me step down before that happened. You never know what kind of power the new Democrats could have done, but they're
the argument is that
weak.
The timing is bad because even if he gets forced out by impeachment or whatever, they're not going to go ahead and allow, you know, the president to go ahead and put somebody else up for consideration if that spot becomes available. So the timing's going to be bad. Right.
Well, right now, it happened right now.
It'll be fine as long as we have Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin. Those people are unreliable themselves.
Right.
But if any one of them say, "Oh, this is political, bipartisan," then they can't do it. But technically,
that's what's gonna happen.
And by the way, I don't wish hateful stuff on anybody. But when I heard that story that he went to the hospital, I was like,
yeah. I was right there with you, baby.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I was right there with you.
I'm just saying. I could admit that. I'm not being messed up. I was like, word.
Well, imagine this though, right? Let's say we do knock this. Oh, not we or whatever. Let's say he does. You know, God forbid, knock on wood, pass. Right. Now you got Amy, who's young. The other person that just got in there, I can't think of his name. He's
Squee, whatever.
Squee, exactly. Clarence Roberts is mad. He's still young.
Right.
Like none of everybody else that's left is like teenagers in Supreme Court justice age.
For years.
Years.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
They have
everybody. Much love. Let's play the music out, Bendo. Yeah, much love to everybody. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Holly Horn, Daniel, thank you for coming through. Erica, Mia, John in the chat. Much love to you, my brother. Who else we got? PJ Holly, if you there, Vince I am. Thank you for coming through. Everybody, thank you so much. Big Pun as usual. I feel like, man, I'm so used to you coming through, but you know, just let me know when you're tired.
It's okay. I'm good. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
It's fun. It's so much fun having you on. Let me go around the horn for one last time. Oh, Pedro Hernandez, Nancy Vancher, PJ Chris, Akibasha Kita, thank you so much. And let me go around the horn. Carlito, last words.
Yo, go Hawks. Let's see if we make the playoffs. Even though I didn't even play anymore anyway. It freaking sucked.
I don't know if we can catch up to you. I'm praying.
Not even.
John just declared me a regular. Thank you. John declared me a regular and said bye-bye to Gabe. Oh, damn.
There it is. Bendone. Producer Bendone. Ace. Big Pun.
Yo.
Peace. Izzy.
I second you, John. I second you.
Thank you. Oh, damn. Thank you.
All right. So next week we'll reveal, you know, we had the chicken vertical form. Next week will be the pig vertical form.
No.
Come on, man.
Nah. But much love to everybody. See y'all next week. Look forward to see y'all. Have a good one.
Peace out, everybody.
Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Much love. Adios.